Dear ones, before we begin with the September forecast, I wish to explain something that is happening to many of you at this time. There is a massive multi-dimensional awakening that is occurring within many human beings. And what this means is that many of you are being activated in your multi-dimensional aspects. And so you may be feeling overwhelmed. You may be feeling more in your feeling bodies, your nervous systems. Your minds may be racing. Your physical bodies may be changing. There may be sudden and extreme purges from the physical body, release of toxins. You may be experiencing mood swings, hormonal changes, men and women. You may be feeling more ascension symptoms such as dizziness, upset in the gut. Some of you are feeling more grounded. Some of you are feeling more connected to yourselves. Some of you are feeling more connections outside of yourselves. Your intuition is sharpening. Your third eye vision is enhanced. You may be hearing other people's thoughts, seeing other people's visions. While you are being activated, while your multidimensional selves or aspects are being activated, you are connecting into not just your multidimensional selves, but the collective grid. And so there may be some overlapping wiring with others who are doing the same thing. And so I encourage you, dear ones, to do your best to stay centered within yourselves and to connect to your own essence and energy, as this channel has taught you, to connect with your own essence over and over, to make this a daily practice so that you are experiencing what is yours, not the things that are not yours, not the energies that are not yours to experience. Yes, you are all one, but before it is safe or a good idea to experience full oneness, you need to individuate as your own soul. And to do this, you need to learn how to embody your essence, embody your soul, and to be with your own energy fully and completely. Then and only then is it a good idea to expand into oneness. Yes, some of this will happen simultaneously because there is no time in this experience, but I am laying it out for you this way in order to give you a deeper understanding of the steps that must occur as you move through your ascension. It is also very important as you go through this experience to work with grounding to the core of Mother Earth, as well as your multidimensional grounding, the practices that I have given you to do this through this channel. It is very important to work with multidimensional grounding now, because you will continue to expand. You will continue to activate more of your multidimensional aspects. And this will be a very overwhelming process for some of you if you are not grounded. Those of you who especially are ultra sensitive, who are empaths, this practice is especially important for you. Those of you who are not as sensitive or as much in your feeling bodies, this will not affect you as deeply. But it is still a good idea to develop this practice for yourselves. It is also important to understand that as you expand into your multidimensional awareness and activation, it is still priority for you to work through your human body, to bring your nervous system into your bodies. Many of you unknowingly have allowed your nervous systems to leave your body, to reach into and process the etheric without being grounded in your bodies, without being integrated in your bodies. This channel is asking how to bring the nervous system into the human body. It's a multi-layered process, dear ones. One step is to deal with your wounds and integrate your shadow aspects and your light aspects, because with the integration of each aspect, the nervous system can settle into the body. Another part of the process is to set your intention to integrate your nervous system into your human body. Many of you, either upon birth or at some point through your childhood, experienced traumas that had you leave your body to some degree, and this affected your ability to hold, so to speak, to hold your nervous system within your body. And so it is important to be committed to your inner child healing so that your nervous systems can be fully integrated once again. I will do my best to explain this part through this channel. Your nervous system is connected to each multidimensional aspect. And so, whether it is with your conscious awareness or not, when you activate a multidimensional aspect, it is important that you also integrate this part of your nervous system. So, for example, if you are activating a multidimensional aspect that has to do with third eye sight, it is important that you bring your third eye vision through your human body, through your human aspect. That you use your third eye vision from the grounded human beingness that you are. In other words, what some of you do is you send your vision out. You send it outside of yourself. You gather information and then you bring it back to you. What you should do instead is to stay in your body and bring or allow the third eye sight to land in your human body and perceive and see through your human aspect. You do not lose any higher vision by doing it this way. It is a more integrated way of using your third eye sight. This is one example of a multidimensional aspect that may be activated.
Could this be interpreted any way, or would it be helpful for people to imagine or envision their actual eyes, their two eyes while doing this?
Yes, but not exactly, dear one. It would be more beneficial to work with the actual space where the ancients have designated where the third eye sight comes from in the middle of the forehead, and to, from that space, grounded in the human body, open that sight to view whatever needs to be seen. And if this is one of the aspects of your multidimensionality that you are working with, then you can set your intentions and ask for the veils to be lifted so that you can see truth. And of course, you can do this for your physical human eyes as well as you view your human reality. But if you are viewing your multidimensional reality and things beyond your human sight, then you can do it from this space in your human forehead. Dear ones, as you activate your multidimensional selves, it is important to take excellent care of the human body. And this is where it may be difficult for some to hear, but this is very important to understand. If you are using substances, medications, drinking alcoholic beverages, things that alter your consciousness, this will impact and influence your multidimensional experience. Now, for those of you who want to play, then the use of substances may assist you. For those of you who want to orient to your soul essence and to get the most out of your lifetime, then it is important to release any of these substances and orient back to your soul and let yourselves be wired and activated from your soul essence and energy. Because it is a very different experience to have your brain and your nervous system altered by chemicals or substances than to have your brain wired to your soul essence and energy. Now, I know for some of you, this may seem or feel like a very narrow point of view, like it is a judgment or does not allow for all experiences. But I am simply sharing this for those of you who want to have the experience of being fully aligned to your soul essence and energy, and to ascend with your soul light. Otherwise, the ascension experience is very different. And at some point, perhaps in another incarnation or experience or realm or dimension, you will need to go through the process of refining down to ascending only with your soul light.
I don't know. I had a experience when I was with my friend. I took some of that special chocolate, had a couple beers. That was on July the 30th. I was really happy. I went to the bathroom and closed my eyes, took some deep breaths, and I felt like I could leave my body. I was thinking, if I leave my body, will I fall off the toilet? And so on. And that happened maybe 5-10 seconds, and then it was over. Has it something to do with that, what you are talking now?
Yes, dear one. This is very much what I am talking about, as these substances will wire your brain and nervous system to themselves rather than you wiring your brain and nervous system to your own soul light and energy. If there is astral traveling or a leaving of the body, there is not a full integration at the human level of what you are experiencing. You can integrate the experience at the human level after the experience. but it is a lot more work, and it is like a detour of sorts. I will say it in that way. And so these experiences can be fun, and they can even feel like spiritual awakenings. And you can view other realms and realities through using substances. But it is a very different experience than when you are oriented to your soul light only.
I'm assuming that coffee and sugar would be lumped in with the other substances you're talking about.
Thank you for this question, dear one. Yes and no. Allow me to explain. To some degree, anything that you take into your body will affect your consciousness. If you eat a leafy green vegetable, this affects your consciousness. If you use or participate in an ayahuasca ceremony, this will affect your consciousness. But it is specifically those substances that work with wiring your nervous system. So the psychoactive substances are the ones that have the most impact. And in some ways, sugar can be regarded as a psychoactive substance if it is consumed in large amounts frequently, as it does impact your mental and emotional bodies in significant ways, depending on your constitution, depending on how grounded you are, depending on your gut microbiome. For some, sugar is not so psychoactive as it does not affect them to a greater degree. But for those of you who have gut imbalances, hormonal imbalances, if you are very sensitive, if you are an empath, sugar is something that is not an ally for you.
So what about honey? Would that be okay?
It is a similar answer to what I just said about sugar. However, honey used with intention to connect with the sixth dimension that the bees represent in small therapeutic amounts can be beneficial. Honey used to assist in allergies when consuming local honey to your area can be beneficial. Honey can be abused if it is overconsumed. It can take the microbiome out of balance if too much is consumed. But it is not so much psychoactive unless it is overconsumed. It can be like homeopathic medicine that assists in activating your sixth dimensional selves.
Would that be a good idea to go on a fast, maybe 3 days, 7 days, 2 weeks or so? Or partly fast, maybe?
This depends on the state of your bodies, the state of your health, your constitution, the nutrients required by your body. For some of you, yes, this would be a very good idea, especially when done in conjunction with the intention to connect with your soul essence. For some of you, this would be a very effective way to connect deeply with your soul light and your soul source, as it will remove some distractions, it will remove some false self-soothing that you do for your body and emotional fields. Those of you who are in a state of health that would support a fast, and who emotionally eat, this would be especially beneficial for you. It would be wise to check with a health practitioner to see if your body is in a state that could handle this type of this type of deprivation, because it will be a deprivation for some of you if you are not used to fasting. And you can work your way up to fasting, which will help your body acclimate. But again, it would be wise to work with a practitioner to ensure that you don't do damage to your body in this process. To summarize, dear ones, I am helping you to lay your foundation for your expansion and ascension, because there will be very deep and expansive opportunities for you to activate at the multidimensional levels as we move into the coming years. And if you are activating yourselves while consuming substances that are impacting your nervous system and brain, it can potentially have detrimental effects on your health and well-being, your ability to stay emotionally grounded, mentally clear, and for some of you, even sane. As the multidimensional activations occur, there is great potential for psychosis or something on the spectrum like this. And so it is very helpful to be as clear and clean with what you consume as possible. And to consider and feel how what you are consuming is influencing your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotional bodies. Because this is where oneness really is real. You will become one to some degree with what you consume. And so it is important to feel what is aligned for your soul. And for some of you, you are in the stage, you are in the part of the journey where you are exploring substance use. And I'm not saying that this is wrong or bad. I am simply letting you know how this is influencing your nervous systems, your brains, your multidimensional activations. And so, dear ones, there is no judgment here. I am simply giving you information that you can use to discern for yourselves what is applicable for you at this time. Dear ones, in your month of September 2022, there will be a great many energies of clearing. In some ways, this will feel very refreshing. This will feel very good to your systems. And in some ways, and for some of you, it will feel very intense, as what no longer serves will be cleared out of your bodies, your beings, your life experiences. There will be clearing energies at all levels and in all ways. In your money systems, in your government systems, in your industries, It will not be a complete reset. It will not be a complete clearing, but it will be a significant shift to allow the new earth to emerge as old ways of being within your systems will be cleared. So this does not mean that the systems will be no more or that they will collapse, but there will be significant changes within the systems. And this is for the ease and grace timeline. Do your best, dear ones, not to resist the clearing that occurs in your own life and in the collective energy. Allow what no longer serves to leave your systems, your bodies and beings. This includes old belief systems, old ways of self-healing, old ways of processing, old programming, old patterns within your nervous systems and bodies. This is a significant opportunity, dear ones, to reset yourselves, to quantum leap onto new and higher frequency timelines. This is significant motivation and opportunity to move forward in your lives, to say yes to new opportunities that come your way, to say no to opportunities that no longer feel resonant or appropriate for your soul growth and mission. Some of this may feel difficult, especially if you resist, especially if you hold on or have trouble letting go. And some of this will feel very refreshing, rejuvenating. Some of you will experience spontaneous physical body healing, emotional body healing, mental body healing. If you allow and receive this, and you can set your intentions to receive spontaneous healing if this is something that you would like, dear ones. The potency of these clearing energies is such that physical rearrangement can happen within your human bodies, meaning that your DNA, your cells, your body systems, your organs can shift at the molecular anatomical level for full and complete healing. Take a deep breath, dear ones, and feel what I am saying here. This is especially important for those of you who wish for technologies like med beds or something external to heal you. I'm saying to you, dear ones, that this is possible from within. This is possible at the physical level within the body. This is also important for the emotional bodies. Those of you who have carried traumas, hurts, wounds from other lifetimes, from other realms and realities, from your childhood, even from your experience as adults. You can organize the energy signatures of light within your body to dissolve your traumas, your wounds. You can call upon your I Am Presence, your physical human body, you can call upon your guides and guidance, and your soul to dissolve illness, disease, traumas, wounds, and to ask the energies to coalesce and align in such a way within your body and your energy bodies for self-healing. This is very important, dear ones, as each of you has each of you requires a unique energy signature for your healing. So not all energy signatures will work in the same way with each person. You have unique sacred geometries, a unique way to coalesce and organize the energies for self-healing. And your innate intelligence, your soul intelligence, will work with the energies to create this organization. And this healing will be enhanced with your intention and conscious awareness to organize these energies. So for some of you to activate this ability, it is through visualization. For some of you, it is through your feeling and knowing senses. For some of you, it is simply through your intention. Again, dear one, it depends upon your wiring about what will work for you. The energies of September will be very supportive of you gaining more conscious awareness and understanding of how this can work for you, as it will be different for each one. I thank you, dear ones. There will be some other subtle energies for September, but I will stay focused with the main energy stream, that is the clearing energies. And all I have said about this so far, I invite you to set your intentions to work with these clearing energies to enhance their effects in your daily lives, and to allow yourselves to develop new routines, to change the food you eat, to change the way you exercise or move your bodies. Listen very deeply to yourselves to discern what steps to take for yourselves.
Okay, I have that one. When we had our Zoom meeting on Lionsgate a couple weeks ago, what effect did it had on the group here or for the collective consciousness?
For this group, dear one, there was an energy and an activation of validation for the group container itself. I will do my best to explain. There was a solidification of the container itself. Without this channel present as the facilitator, there was a strengthening of the light grid for this group, for this container. Because each of you stepped up in your light to contribute and to hold space, it strengthened the container for each of you and for the group energy. So there was an amplification of the power of this group container. I can tell you from my perspective, dear ones, that the light quotient was increased by 3. Meaning that the light is now 3 times stronger within this group and emanating from this group. So I thank you, dear ones, For the collective effect, the pulse that goes out from this group was strengthened, as I have described. The light quotient has increased. There is an enhanced reverberation that goes into the collective consciousness, into the universal consciousness. So it affects not only the human collective consciousness, but the universal consciousness, the energy that reverberates throughout the universe. And this is important for several reasons, as the universe is aligning to its ascension. This is a support for universal ascension. It is like a star or a planet in and of itself, whose heartbeat reverberates into the universal consciousness and energy. This is very beautiful, dear ones, and I thank you.
Okay, another question would be, as I'm quite a few times listening still to that soul channeling what you did, can you tell us something about the great central sun, how it came into being? Is that pretty much similar, like the creation of the souls, or different?
The great central sun is a coalescing of many light streams I will explain it in this way for your understanding. As souls move back into Source and they become one with Source, there is then opportunity for what can be birthed out of that. And the great central sun is birthed out of Source, and many soul structures that came together or combined their energies to be a powerful light source for your universe. Many of you who are tuned into the great central sun feel these soul codes. And receive and benefit from the information that comes from these soul codes and the coalescing of this amount of soul light. And so while the great central sun is not an incarnation of form, in other words, these soul structures that came together did not individuate as one soul and take an incarnation or take a form, such as a human or another being. They brought their sacred geometries together. They brought their light streams together to create this magnificent light source for your universe.
I assume there's only one great central sun, and in which dimension or where is it?
There are many suns. There is one light source coalescing that you would define as the great central sun. And it comes direct from source, dear one. It affects all dimensions. It can be accessed in all realms and realities, although many slower frequency dimensions or dimensions vibrating at slower frequencies do not tend to access it. It is available to all.
Another question would be from that same channeling about, as you channeled water, fire, air, and so on. Is there something about the ether? You mentioned it, as normally with the alchemists, there is that ether, the fifth element. What can you tell us about it?
You are wanting to know about ether and what it is, dear one?
Yes, whether it's something like a source itself or a different thing.
I will do my best to explain through this channel. Give me a moment with this channel, please, dear ones. The ether is the space between. The space between each atom, each molecule. So things of great density contain less ether. Things of less density contain more ether. Sometimes ether is not contained. It simply is. Sometimes ether is flowed. Sometimes it is channeled. Sometimes it is organized and arranged to create alchemy in substance. When you breathe, dear ones, when you breathe with intention, you can breathe in the ether to activate healing within your bodies. It can be used alchemically to heal yourselves. When activated with ether, a great deal of grounding is required for the human. Because this can also lead to psychosis if the ether is not integrated in the human. It is very powerful. Some have defined it as spirit. It is different from air. The ether is what contains the energetic signatures and codes. I'm just going to come out of the channeling state so I can describe to you all what I'm experiencing, because as soon as Roland asked that question, I felt it. And it's very disorienting for my brain right now because I'm feeling it very intensely. So I'm doing my best to describe what I'm feeling. I'm doing my best to bring through Prime Creator's explanation, but I'm finding it very challenging because it's very etheric. it's very it's very intense, and yet it's very subtle at the same time. It's very spacious.
Was that describing the soul of the ether there too, or is that a different thing?
The ether contains soul energy, soul light, soul codes, and signatures, but it is not soul. But it carries, so to speak, soul energies. It carries the energy signatures of the elements. It contains, it transports the energy signatures and codes of what is unseen. It is very important in the creation process, as it is the plasma, if you will, the plasma that can take energy signatures and codes and turn them into physical. And so when your creation emerges in physical form, it is because the ether has organized the energy signatures and codes for you and assisted in bringing them into physical form. This is why it is, or has been, considered a secret of the ancients, a secret of the alchemists. It is a very special subset of knowledge that has been reserved for the masters, but is now beginning to be more commonly known and brought into human understanding as you are all stepping into your mastery.
Would working with the nice, the good elemental beings assist with preparing ether specifically for each person? Could they connect?
Yes, dear one.
Thank you.
Yes, dear one. It is the specialty of some elemental beings to work with ether. And many of these beings are stepping forward to assist humans. And so when someone is at a correct and aligned frequency, I will say, that these elemental beings can align with you to enhance your magic, to enhance your abilities to create. And so I will leave you with this for now, but this is a much deeper discussion, dear ones. And it is important, before we go deeper with this discussion, for each of you receiving this message to integrate what I have said so far. I thank you, dear ones.